Finally, welcome to my review of my Vanmoof S3. It's something I've been putting off for a while. Finally got around to doing it with some decent weather over the Saturday here in Scotland. Now you will notice that there is some change in color on the footage as I have filmed on my Sony a7 III Insta-Go 2 and my Insta360 1X2. Without further ado, here we go right into the review. I really like the fender. It really helps with all the mud and water that I ride through every day to work. I did upgrade the pedals. I did go with these. I'll put a link in the description. So these have really helped with the foot flying off during the very clunky automatic gear changing, which I'll get into a little bit later. But these are amazing. They're very sandpapery. They're very rough. Really helps my feet stick to them. Big fan of these, and link in the description below. And here we have the front basket, the front carrier. Somebody asked me the other day if there is any give to it. I would say there's a little give, and it is a little bit noisy when you're riding. The one thing I like to do with this is a great place to store my bike lock while I'm riding around. So as you can tell, right here, it has started to rub a little bit, but that's okay. It's meant to get used. So one thing that I learned about the lock on the bike is that one of those on the rear wheel needs to line with the one on the chain. This is the lock. To get this to go, you have to have the lines in line, and it will lock. If your two white lines are not aligned, like so, and you go to lock it, it will not push in. Not at all. So, remember to have your white lines in line to lock the bike. Here are the old pedals. These old pedals don't really work too well in the wet weather. Feet would always slip off of this. So that's why I ended up changing them out. So here's the phone carrier. I store my riding gloves in there. I like that it's got a couple spots for some cards, a little zipper pocket for some of your coins. This just velcros open. Put your phone in there. Go ahead and zip it up, and voila. Now I'm going to show you some footage from the 1X2 and the Go 2 of me just riding around the Elgin area, mainly around the Cooper Park Cathedral area and near the Elgin Academy as well. Now this is what I call me going out dorking. I set up the Sony a7 III camera on my gimbal and was filming with my 35 1.8. Just trying to get that nice creamy background, blurry look as I'm riding my bike around. Don't think the footage is great, but it was fun to set the camera down, ride around, get a different camera angle. You'll see this area on more in the review, as I just think this is a fun little downhill, uphill, test the bike out area. One of these turns I did scrape a pedal, so that is something to be aware of with this big bike, is the pedals will hit the ground if you pedal during turns. So without further ado, here's more footage of me riding on this little test area that I like. I do have some notes that I wrote down just to get some thoughts out there. I do like the ride of this bike. I do think it's fairly smooth with the exception to the gear changes. The automatic gear changes can be jarring, which everyone has talked about to death on these bikes. I do love the mud guards, which I talked about earlier in the review. It's great for the long commute that I have to work. especially with farm roads and dirt and mud and water. They really do protect my gear and my work backpack just commuting to and from work, which has been really nice. On to Cooper Park in sunny Snow. I'm sure that this is a bit weird of a camera angle, but figured give it a shot. Hopefully you just heard that clunk. That's the gear shifting. Luckily with these pedals down there, these I don't know if you can see it, but that pedal is pretty amazing. The sandpaper quality really makes your feet stick, which is great. In the past, with the older bike issued pedals, my feet would go flying off like this, and I'm sure some of you have experienced that as well. Alright, found some more riding footage of not too much interesting going on, so I figured this is a good time to talk over and finish up the review. The things I do like about this bike, I love the speed of it. I do like the ease of riding. I do ride this about 14 miles every day to and from work, Monday through Friday. It's decent enough over loose gravel. I don't know if you can tell from any of the footage how kind of shaky the bike is. It is somewhat dangerous if you're going real fast over loose gravel and you decide to turn. Something to be aware of. I do like the upgrade that I made with the pedals. I've reiterated that a lot in the review. They are definitely worth the price and the upgrade. Things I would like to see change with the bike, much like everyone else that has these bikes, they would like manual gear changes. I would love to change the assist level on the go. Make some kind of button combination with the two left and rights to be able to change your assist level while riding without having to either pull out your phone or use the watch app. Something to know else about the S3 is it is a wide turning radius. This is a big bike. With all the negatives of this bike, with the clunky gear changes and how wide it is to turn, it wouldn't change my mind. It wouldn't change my opinion of this bike. I love it. It has getting me off my butt and getting me to and from work every day. The front carrier, I know in my review it was kind of negative, but it turns out it's a pretty decent piece of kit. It does fit my lunch. I can throw some stuff in there. The bungee cord is kind of great. It does secure the load, but it does reduce the size of the basket in my opinion. One thing I would like to talk about is the profiles. I used hill profile a lot for most of my rides, and I have switched to custom. Custom is great unless you're on a hill. If you're going to be riding on hills, use the hill profile. With that being said, here is a clip of me going uphill. Hopefully the audio doesn't sound terrible. Really wanted to show off this hill, because this hill sucks. Riding your bike up. Luckily, I've got the Vanmoof, the electric power. Definitely got to hit the speed boost on the way up. So with the speed boost, I can get to about 16 miles per hour. Drop into 15, 14. So if I let go of the boost, I will drop to 12, 11, 10, 9. We're We're gonna keep there. Gear shift 8, 7. Six, so there's a car coming, so I'm slowing down now. Crossing the road, speed boosting, went all the way down to 5. That's a tough hill. And now I'm back in the Cooper Park area, just trying out the Instago 2 with some of the turning radius tests that I was doing here amongst the garden. It's a fun bike. I recommend it. Thanks for coming by and watching the video. Hopefully you've enjoyed this, and hopefully I can make more videos like this in the future.